Boiler Dowd, and this is the pregame report for the upcoming game at Louisville for our Boilermakers. Purdue's coming off a win versus New Jersey Institute of Technology, which wasn't overwhelming by any means. Purdue looked pretty listless with the exception of Carson Edwards and Biggie Swanigan, of course. Swanigan continues to play consistently, play hard, tries to get about any ball that's coming off the rim. He's got 4 double-doubles this season. He's setting just a torrent pace when it comes to rebounds and just overall consistency. He's setting the tone for Purdue, but Carson Edwards has really come on recently, and it's good to see because the pace at which Edwards plays really will define Purdue as this team goes forward, because he looks for his shot, number one, and he has a quicker release, and he seems to have a quicker first step than about anybody. He can create for himself as well as hit from about anywhere on the court. Louisville, of course, is they're ranked highly. They're a good team, but they've only been tested once. Their season has been filled with I don't know if you'd say cupcakes, but certainly RPI and Pomeroy don't respect the teams they played, with the exception of one, of course, Baylor. They just played Baylor, and they lost to Baylor. So coming off the loss, Louisville dropped a little bit in the polls, and now you have two teams that are in the top 15, probably about where they belong, I would say, right now, based on what I've seen of the college basketball world and what I've seen about from these two teams. Louisville is an athletic team. They like all Patino teams, they run, but this is not a high-scoring team by any means. They've had a couple games where they've simply struggled. In spite of that, they're even throughout the lineup. They have 5 players who average 6 to 13 points. A couple guys get the lion's share of the points, but really they're not setting the world on fire either, averaging 11 to 13 points. Leading scorer is Donovan Mitchell, who's a sophomore. He's 6'3" guard. He'll be tough. He'll be a tough assignment for Purdue guards to stay in front of, much like Villanova. Louisville has some athletic guards. They're not as big or as skilled as Villanova's, but they're still very good. And Louisville, of course, will pressure the ball really well, which Purdue might struggle with. So this is another good test to me. This is another chance for Purdue to do something we haven't really seen them do effectively, which is go on the road, beat a solid ranked team in the pre-con in a while. Let's be real honest. It's been a long time since Purdue's been able to do that consistently, which is play on the road, and knocking off a top 15 team would be a feather in their cap, and it would almost neutralize the Villanova loss, in my opinion. I don't think the tournament committee cares about quality losses at this point. I think they really want to see quality wins. And I know we're way early in the year, but if you don't think this part of the year affects later when it comes to seeding, you don't watch that much college basketball, I'd surmise. Our Boilers really need, to me, they need victories over Louisville and Notre Dame. But after the Louisville game, they have a couple easier games before going against Notre Dame again. And I'm excited about the opportunity to see Purdue do something, rise to the occasion, and perhaps make a little bit of noise in the national media. The media already really enjoys watching Caleb Swanigan do what he's done. He's on a lot of watch lists so far, and he's getting accolades. He was just named the Co-Big Ten Player of the Week for last week. And I wouldn't see any reason for that to slow down, especially versus Louisville. They have 3 bigs that play. They're 6'10", 7 foot, and I think they have another 7-footer who doesn't play that much. But they don't play a ton of minutes, so they rely on their guards. They rely, I believe, on a 3-guard system most of the time, although I've only probably watched them for a game and a half. Not a very good sampling size and full admittance for my knowledge of Louisville. But Purdue has a pretty solid shot of beating them. It's a tough place to play, the Yum Center, but who wouldn't like to go someplace where Kentucky Fried Chicken is thrown out at every dead ball? That's always nice. I love fried chicken. Who doesn't? That's not true. They don't throw out fried chicken. So don't. If you're going tonight, don't be let down when that doesn't happen. When they don't throw fried chicken and biscuits out, don't be upset. My prediction for the game is I think Purdue's going to lose 7 to 10 points. I don't have a ton of confidence right now in Matt Painter coach teams on the road versus really good teams. I think that Purdue, if this game were at home, I think Purdue would win. I think Purdue would win this game probably by 7 points. Similar scenario, but on its other side. It's all going to come down to how well the guards shoot. I think if Purdue can get into rhythm, we've seen this Boilermaker team really, their success is decided greatly on how well they shoot the ball, and if they can get hot like they did down in Cancun, hell, who knows what happens? Maybe they can beat them going away. But I'm not expecting a 65% success rate from behind three again. This is Boiler Dowd. This is the Boiled Sports podcast network. An unusual pregame from me before the sizable game between Purdue and Louisville down in Louisville. And thanks for listening, watching, and reading the site. You'll find us on Twitter at Boiled Sports, and you'll find me in magazines as I model for various agencies. God bless you. Have a great day, and go Boilers.